My job is to find missing people. After this case, I've never been the same. A few years back I was contacted by a family I'm friends with. They were searching for their missing daughter and her two friends. They had gone on a cross-country road trip. A week into their road trip, all contact between them and their families was cut off. The families went to the local police, but there wasn't much they could do, so they turned to me. The case was somewhat personal, so to say I was impatient to find them was an understatement. I first had the families pull up their messages between them and their children. I had to cover every base, from them wanting to run away from home to someone wanting to harm them. I got the license plate to the car they took and ran it through multiple databases to find it in any CCTVs along the roads they took. I got a ping that the car was seen at a gas station a few states over. The gas station was on a long desolate road. The road itself wasn't in the best condition and the gas station itself didn't look all that good. Upon showing the clerk at the gas station their pictures, he confirmed that he had seen him. They looked fine at the time and were headed west. I thanked him and followed the road westwards. While driving down the road, my tire went out and I crashed into the side railings. As unbelievably unlucky as I was, I thankfully didn't sustain any injuries, but I was now stranded in the middle of nowhere. I decided to survey the area and noticed that the trees looked damaged. The sun was setting, so I grabbed my flashlight and peeked over the edge of the railings. Perhaps the car went off into the gully. I placed the flashlight in my chest pocket and climbed down the hill. At the bottom of the hill lay a wrecked car. The car looked so heavily damaged that they shouldn't have been able to get out, but somehow there was no one inside. Though dried and nearly concealed by foliage, there were some blood splotches. I went to my radio to call for some police officers and an ambulance, but to my dismay all I got was static. A twig snapped behind me and before I had the chance to turn around, something hard connected with my head, and I found my vision go dark and my mind blank. I woke up in near pitch darkness, except for the light bulb that hung above me. My head throbbed painfully. What the hell happened? Assessing my condition, I was strapped to a chair with my legs and arms firmly bound. Based on my surroundings, I assumed I was in a basement. It smelled of rotten mold, and I struggled to not throw up. I could hear rats scurrying around just out of my line of sight. A door opened, and in walked a man who was so mutated, it was hard to say he was even human. "Hey, who the hell are you?" I shouted. He came closer, and I could see a horrible grin plastered on his face. He held a knife in one hand. "You're the one who took those 3 girls, weren't you? What did you do to them?" I asked. He didn't respond, but he had a displeased look on his face. Before I knew it, he stabbed the knife into my hand. My body jolted from the pain and I wanted to scream out in agony, but I held it in. "You sick bastard, you probably get off to this, huh?" "Well, hate to break it to you, but it'll take more than that to make me scream," I retorted through heavy breaths. He tilted his head and began twisting the knife in my hand. The pain was unbearable, but I refused to give him what he wanted. I couldn't help the tears that built up in my eyes and quickly fell. He was still dissatisfied, so he pulled the knife from my hand. He placed it over my pinky, lining it up. I struggled against my binds as I knew what he was about to do. However, before I could protest, he slammed the knife down and severed my pinky from my hand. I couldn't hold my screams any longer. "Go to hell." I screamed in agony. I heard his sick laugh echo throughout the basement. "Got you. I'll be taking this." Just like that he picked up my finger and left me in the basement to suffer alone in agony.